Good afternoon, folks. It is December 14, 2024, and we are over here by Alan and Sandy Woudstra's property, and they are going to have a retirement full-blown farm auction on December 28 of this year, 2024. The auction will start at 10:30 a.m., and we have an exceptional line of equipment on this auction. We have some New Holland tractors. We'll talk about them a little bit. We have a 7140 Magnum. We got our very late model Case IH combine. We got an Eggo 8200 planter. We got the heads to go with the combine, some sprayers, some wagons, and other things we'll tell you about. But before I do that, I would like to introduce to you Alan and Sandy. Alan, it's my understanding you grew up in this place. Is that correct?
Yes.
And your father lived here before you? And
Yes.
And how many years have you been farming on the place, just you and Sandy?
Just us, 22 years we've been here.
22 years, and you're retiring.
Yes.
Did I understand right that you bought a house over in Sheldon? Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
North of Sheldon.
So, Sandy, I'm going to hand you the microphone. Tell me a little bit about your family and how many kids you got and what inspired you to retire.
Well, we have two children. Tyler and his wife April live in Sheldon.
Nice.
And our daughter Amanda just got married this summer, and they live close to Brookings near Volga, South Dakota. Arlington area.
And how many grandchildren do you have?
Two boys, two grandchildren, Hunter and Jace. So,
there's nothing better than grandkids.
Oh, they're fun. Yes.
You hug them twice when they come, and you hug them again when they leave, but you love them. You just love them. There's
Yep.
nothing better than grandkids.
Yep.
So, Alan and Sandy, you guys had livestock here also, is that correct?
Yes, we did.
And you guys raised cattle or cows and hogs, is that correct? Tell us a little bit about your years of livestock experience.
Well, we started the cow business when the kids got in 4-H. We got tired of buying the expensive calves, so we bought some cows of our own. And then later on, after they finished with 4-H, then pasture became available a mile north of here, or west of here, and we only had 10 cows, but it was just a fun little thing that we liked, and I had hay ground so I could bale the hay and feed them.
And I think both of you would agree there's nothing better than raising your family on the farm. Is that not right?
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
So are you retired too, Sandy?
Yes, I just retired from teaching this past year.
So you taught all the ornery kids in school.
Yep.
Yes. Well, thank you. Some days I kind of feel bad how I treated my teachers, but they taught me something. So, yeah. On this auction, folks, we just want to tell you again, this auction is December 28, 2024. At 10:30 a.m. And Ellen, we're standing by your New Holland tractor here, and you actually have two of these. Is that correct?
Correct.
Two New Holland T7 235 front wheel assist tractors, and just tell us a little bit about them, Ellen. Are they both one owners, or are they second owners?
Yes,
or
I bought one new. I remember if it was 11 or 12, and the other one the next year. The first one I bought. This is the one that had the auto steer. This one has the auto steer valve. The other one does not.
Okay.
And I bought the first one and really liked it, and Sandy's dad used to help me harvest. And
oh, nice. That was nice too.
Two different tractors that shifted different, so I decided to get another one like I had, and yeah, they shift the same, and it was just easier for him to help.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
Well, looking at your tractors, these two New Holland T7 235s, Alan, they're just in beautiful, beautiful shape. I can tell you guys, you and Sandy are very good caretakers. How many hours on this particular tractor we're standing by, Alan, approximately?
they both have around 1,930 plus a couple.
I know Blake said they're 1 year apart in age and they have identical hours. So, yeah, about 1,930 hours, folks, for that are watching the video. It's got the front suitcase weights on it. Blake will pan around the other one here, too. And you bought both of them at O'Brien County Implement, is that right?
Correct.
Yep.
Both of them were bought there.
And did you say you were a single owner or are they a second owner?
No, I'm single.
You bought them both brand new?
Brand new,
Both
yes.
brand new. Wow. I bet you really liked running these tractors out in the field, didn't you?
Yeah. Usually I've had one on the planter and one on the sprayer, and because I did most of the farm work myself, so then I could jump from one and go and spray what I had just planted.
You know what us men always tell our wives? If we have enough tractors, then we never have to unhook them.
That's right.
Hooking up machinery doesn't get any easier as we get older, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And like you said, folks, both of them got about 1,930 some hours, just under 2,000 hours. They got nice rubber all the way around them. The paint, the cabs, the interior are very, very nice. And like I said, Alan and Sandy are retiring. That's why they're selling them. And there's nothing wrong with them mechanically. Alan, they're good and sound.
Yeah.
As far as tractors, I mean, they're in good shape.
Yep. No, they treated me well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Very happy.
So Sandy, before we talk about some of the other equipment, I have to ask you, what was some of the best things growing up and raising your family on the farm here and being married, living on the farm? What's some good memories that you guys have?
Well, I was never going to marry a farmer, but you don't say that because you do end up marrying a farmer. But just being out here and with the calves and the kids washing them and walking them and working on 4-H projects and all that kind of stuff was so much fun through the years. And just, yeah, spending time here. The kids would come. We have a full basement, so all the friends would come and hang out here.
Wonderful,
so
wonderful.
That was a great time.
Wonderful.
She liked the early morning loading hogs.
She'd love to help you load hogs in the morning, yes.
We usually did that before school.
Any marriage that survives that, Alan, you know is a good marriage. Yes,
We had
yes.
good neighbors that helped.
I got to tell you a funny story, Alan and Sandy. Over where we live, one time there was a couple loading hogs, and it was a summer night. And the neighbor across the road was an elderly gentleman, but a very nice guy. And he heard them loading hogs, and he heard that they weren't getting along so well to do that. So he kind of took his time, and he tiptoed over to the hog barn, and he stuck his head in the curtain, and he said, "Do you guys need any marriage counseling?" And she said, "No, we just need to sell the hogs." So I just want to, Alan, Blake's going to pan here and take a look at your 7140. Your Magnum, and we just sold a Magnum on an auction here a few weeks ago. And one thing about the Case IH Magnums, they're kind of a bulletproof tractor that everybody likes. This one here, I believe you said, has around 8,000 some hours on it. Is that correct?
8,100 some hours.
8,100 and some hours. And did you overhaul this one too, Alan?
Yes, at 8,000.
So
one of the ports that oils the piston and scored the piston.
Okay, so you overhauled this engine about 100 hours ago, approximately.
100 to 200 hours ago. So.
Wow. And anything else you want to tell us about the 7140?
Oh, it has 2 different paints.
2 different paints on it?
Yeah, my dad, he wanted to help when he was on his 80th birthday.
Yeah.
He complained because he wasn't helping.
Yeah.
Well, that next day I had him field cultivate with it, and he drove through the garage over top of the fuel barrel with it. So the front has a little bit different paint than the rest.
It got a little sprucing up because he kind of put a few scratches in it, did it?
Oh, yeah, it took the radiator and everything out.
So you had to repair it. So,
yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to have our elderly parents help us, but sometimes they make a few mistakes. And I guess we all want to get old, right? So we all hope we get to do that.
I said, that's why I'm retiring. I don't want to have that happen.
You don't want to have that happen. Yes. You don't want to drive the tractor through the garage, right?
Yeah.
And then the other tractor over here, your New Holland front wheel assist, that's a 110, I believe, on your New Holland.
Yes.
And you bought that one brand new. Is that correct? Or your dad did?
My dad did, yeah, in 2000.
It's in 2000. That's a one owner.
Yes.
And I think that had like 4,700 some hours on it. Is that right?
47, 75 or somewhere in there.
And it's got the Miller PL2 loader on it, and it's got a nice grapple on it. It's got good tires all the way around. What can you tell me about that tractor, Alan?
It's been, very good tractor. I use it for haying all the time, and when I had the cows, I used to move around bales and stuff with it.
Sure.
Augers grain.
Oh yeah. Well, then that's a very, very handy size loader tractor with front wheel assist.
Very efficient.
Yes, very efficient tractor. And like I said, folks, they bought that one brand new. Your 7140 that we were talking about, Alan, that's a second owner?
Well, I'm not sure. I bought it from Mulder Implement.
Okay.
Ellsworth.
Okay. So it could be second or third on that one. Yeah. And how long have you owned the 7140 about, would you guess?
Pretty close after I started, like in 92 or so.
So over 20 years.
Yeah.
Over 20 years you've had that. Wow. Let's take a walk inside the shed here, Ellen. Let's talk about your combine a little bit. We got a very, very nice combine, Case IH in here. And how many hours on your combine, Ellen, approximately? Do you know?
Boy, I don't remember.
I know it's not high hours.
No, it's not high hours. I can't remember.
On the way to your combine, Alan, let's stop here and let's talk about your 4020. And if I understand you correctly, visiting earlier today with you a little bit, this 4020 was the first tractor that you bought when you started farming yourself. Is that right?
That's correct. I did. I used to have it. We lived on an acreage before we moved here. And I used it for hauling manure. I had a loader on it. which we'll be selling the loader brackets for Miller Loader also.
Sure.
But
And it's a 4020 diesel, and we think it's got about 9,000 some hours on it, I believe.
Correct.
93 or 9,400 hours. Got good tires on the back and the front. Synchro range. Anything about the tractor you want to talk about on your 4020 at all, Alan?
oh, we hadn't had it running for a while, so we put a new pump in it last year.
Okay. Okay.
Hand pump and the actual injection pump.
Okay.
We replaced, so.
And it runs good, and it's a diesel, which is always nice. And it's a wide front on a 4020. That's a rare tractor, and I think, looking back, a 4020 was one of the best tractors John Deere ever made. I think it's one of their most popular tractors. Yeah.
It was.
Well, let's take a look at your combine here. We'll come up from the side here and take a look at your Case IH combine, AxoFlow combine. It's a 5088. And, folks, it's in the shed. We apologize. It's a little dark to see in here, but I'll tell you what, folks, you want a good, clean machine, sharp machine. Alan, you can see when you look at your equipment how good a care you and Sandy take of it. As far as the combine goes, how long have you owned this, Alan?
Close to 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Okay. And where did you buy this at, or where did you
I
purchase
bought
this at?
this from Titan Machinery.
Okay. Over in Sheldon?
No, it's in Lamar's.
Lamar's, okay.
But it actually came from the Kingsley dealer.
Okay. You bet. Very, very nice machine. And, folks, if you look on our website at zomercompany.com, you can see probably close to 70 to 100 pictures on the online catalog that this auction will be taking place, like I said, on December 28 at 10:30 a.m. And all the hours, all the specs and everything are listed on the machine, but very, very, very nice, clean combine. And, folks, sometimes when you see pictures don't do justice to it. When you look at the machine and you look at the care it's had on all of his equipment, his New Holland tractors, his combine, and you got a very, very nice Eggo planter here too. And one thing, Alan, we didn't talk about, but I'm assuming on your tractors and your combine and your planter, most of your equipment's always been shedded or always inside. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, on the off season. Anyway.
Yep.
During, like the wagons will be out during
Sure.
the harvest. But
Sure.
Yeah, same way with the plane.
So here he's got his Eggo 8200 planter, and what can you tell us about that, Alan? How long have you owned the planter, and when did you purchase it, if you may tell me on that?
It was purchased new. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I was going to trade it in probably 8 or 10 years old and decided it was cheaper to put all precision parts on than it was to trade for a new planter, so that's what I did. It has all automatic shutoffs on.
It's got the row shutoffs and everything on it, on every single row.
Downforce on the rows.
Downforce pressure on the rows, on the row units. Alan, I'll just tell you this. We sell a lot of equipment, and we sell a lot of planters, combines, all that kind of stuff. And when I see your planter, and I looked at all the pictures of it online, and you see it in person, of course, but to have an Eggo 8200 like this, as sharp as this is, I mean, it's got the smart boxes on it. It's got the bigger boxes, I believe, for your seed. And like he said, folks, it's got row shutoffs for every row on it, and it's always been inside. You just talk about clean. I always think this, Alan, especially on planters and combines and equipment that requires maintenance, when you buy it from somebody that's taking care of it, that makes a world of difference, because sometimes you can go to these dealers and you can see them sitting on the lot, but you had different people, hired hands and different things running them, and here you got good, clean, honest equipment, and that's worth a lot in the machinery world, especially with what you invest in machinery and stuff like that,
Yep.
How many acres did you guys always farm about, Alan and Sandy?
Well, I think the most we had was around 700 acres.
Okay.
And this last year we only had 400 acres because some of it got sold. And
Sure. So a lot of the equipment has not had a tremendous amount of use. No. Let's walk back up here to the entrance. Alan, I want to talk about some of the other stuff that's on your auction. And Blake, as we do that, let's show them your Dismore here along the wall too, Alan, in the shop here. What can you tell me about your Dismore? Did you buy that used or new, or
I bought this new.
bought it brand new? So it's a one owner
O'Brien County.
at O'Brien County Implement, and it's got the manual and everything with it. You can take a look there, folks. You can see the canvas and everything is in nice shape on it. And inside, again, folks, always stored inside. Alan, I want to go up here and talk about other items on your auction. You have a 750 Demco wagon, you have a 650 Demco wagon, and you have several wagons, actually. Tell me about your wagons a little bit. You got, you said 5 of them total?
Yes, correct. The new style Demco.
With the new decals on them.
My son is an engineer at Demco.
Oh, wow. So you know they're good.
And before he designed it, he asked me what would you change on the wagons before. and this was the prototype. So we got to test this one the first year.
Oh, wow.
And then they took it back to the shop, and they took everything apart, make sure everything held up. They had to gusset one little thing, one deal had a crack in. So,
Oh, wow. So you got to be the trial guy for Demco.
Yep.
That's quite a thing.
And since Tyler works at Demco, he could come out here a couple days and help me.
Oh, wonderful.
That'd be fun
That's
too.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
to
That's
test.
wonderful. So they got a good product then. Yeah.
Well, sometimes with the grain carts, they go way down by Klondike.
Yeah.
And they go in that sand pit.
Oh.
And then they got to spend so many hours going around a track.
Oh, wow.
So this was easier for him to come down here.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
test
good.
over here right at home. So,
That's pretty neat. That's
that
pretty
was
neat.
nice.
They let us buy this one.
Yeah, so then after they offered it to me to buy.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I couldn't really pass that up.
I would encourage you folks to look at those wagons on our website. They look very, very nice. Alan, it's always a privilege, Alan and Sandy, when you come and you see the equipment maintained the way you guys have it and the cleanliness of it. I always say equipment doesn't just stay looking that way. It takes work all the time. It's not like you hurry up and clean it to have a sale. It's very nice. You also got a New Holland spreader on your auction. Is that a 195, I believe?
Correct, it is.
And that's a good spreader too, works good?
Works fine, yes. It's nothing fancy.
Yep.
But it does the job.
Yep, they're handy spreaders, good spreaders. And then you got a sprayer, also a Demco sprayer. Is that a 1,250 gallon, I want to say?
Yes.
And that's in good shape too?
Yeah, I've only had that 4 or 5 years, something like
Okay,
that.
how many foot booms on that one?
That's well, you can go 60 or you can go 90.
Okay.
You can
Yep.
run either way, and it's got 5 shutoffs.
Okay, so he's got a 1,250 gallon Demco sprayer. He's got 60 or 90 foot booms. You can expand them in or out, and you got shutoffs on that also. You said on there. Anything else on your auction, Alan? We're going to be selling some small items too. Obviously, I'm sure you got some tools and miscellaneous items. And usually, what we do, folks, is we'll start the day out on that at 10:30 in the morning, and then once we're done with that, we'll move on to what we call lot number 1 on the internet, and move on into the equipment and so forth there. And we'll have lunch here. We'll have a porta pot and everything here, and we sure encourage you to come live if you can to the auction. And obviously, if you're from several states away, you can bid online, or if you're 10 miles away, you can bid online. So we kind of got a little winter weather going on here in Iowa, Ellen, but
Yes.
it's going to be a nice day, I think, on December 28th, Sandy said. So yes,
sure hope so.
yes, she's got a lot of clout, doesn't she, Ellen? Yes, yeah, you bet. Anything else, Ellen, that we want to talk about with your equipment that we haven't talked about that you were thinking about?
Probably
Oh,
the bean
yes, come on back, folks. You got to come back here and take a look. He's got a beautiful, beautiful bean head.
I talked to a guy that already had one of these, and he says, if you had to select your best buys in farming, wouldn't you say this was one of your best buys? And I says, you're correct.
Yes, and this is a McDon FD75-S flex draper head, and he's got a card underneath that we'll sell separate from the head. But folks, you got to see this head and what kind of shape it's in. And how long have you had this, Ellen?
Since when I bought the combine,
Okay.
7 or 8 years ago.
7 or 8 years ago.
30-footer.
30-foot one. Yeah, very nice shape, and always inside too when you're not using it, I'm assuming. Yeah, very, very nice. So Sandy, what do you think about this whole retirement thing and moving into town, into Sheldon and stuff? What's your feelings on that?
I think it's going to be good, way better than loading hogs.
You won't miss it at 5 a.m. loading hogs, huh? No. I can't say I don't blame you, Sandy. No. But I just want to mention to you again, folks, it's an honor and a privilege to represent Alan and Sandy. And Alan, I'm sure you're more than happy if they want to come and take a look at your equipment, or if they want to give you a phone call. I know your phone number's on our website. And so have you had a lot of calls on your equipment already, Alan?
I'd say probably 6 to 8 calls.
Wow, and that's early on, so that's a good sign. I know I've had several calls on your New Holland tractors and on the combine already, and a couple on your 7140. So, I think that's you'll have a good day and a good auction, and it's always fun to sell good, clean equipment as an auction company. So, yes.
One other thing, I got that hay rake.
Yes.
That's a real time saver. I used to have just a hydraulic rake.
Yeah. Tell them about your rake. You go ahead and tell them.
Well, I've only had it a couple of years, but it cuts your raking time in half because I have a couple pastures that I bale.
Oh, sure.
One of them is my own, but then the other one I was rented. But anyhow, yeah, you can just it just windrows it for you, and man, it's just
Makes life a lot easier,
no
right?
time at all. You cut your time in half.
Yeah,
With that
yeah.
thing, it's really nice. And ditches, you just leave one side up. And
You should tell them about your disc out there too, Alan. We didn't talk about that either.
that's I'm the second owner on that, but it had very low hours on and hasn't done a lot since because we've been going to no-till. And
Okay,
and
okay.
beans, and
Yep.
I've rented it a couple times.
Yeah.
So, to
Well, I
neighbors.
know if they look at the pictures online, it's in very, very nice condition. Very, very nice condition. It's super sharp. I know me and Blake looked at it when we pulled on the yard here today. It's a beautiful, beautiful disc. But again, folks, I just want to thank you, and Alan and Sandy, thank you. We appreciate it. And folks, rain or shine, unless it's a really nasty day, we'll be here on December 28th at 10:30 a.m. Selling their nice retirement line of equipment. So again, folks, thanks for watching the video. And if you have any questions at all, you can sure call Alan and Sandy. And Blake, it's a wintry day, and Sandy invited us in for cookies, so I think that's a good time to end the video. So, yeah, but again, on behalf of Zomer Company, on behalf of Alan and Sandy, thanks for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed looking at their little pre-taste of their equipment. And folks, if you show up on the day of the auction, you will not be disappointed. So, thanks again, folks. Go to zomercompany.com.